And I'm like, wait, that actually hit. The lethality actually hit through the impregnable. Your expression should be like Bernadette's. What it do, my fools? It's your homeboy Q2 in the house, commentating from the present, or perhaps the future, whatever your perspective of that is. It is actually March 11th, 2021 right now, 3:58 a.m. And if I sound disappointed, it's because this is actually my second time trying to record this post-commentary, because the first time the background audio got caught in the recording. Don't know how. Okay. Anyway, the microphone from the first recording, I don't know what happened to the microphone. Something happened with the microphone that made it not record the audio as it should, and that's why I don't have the audio for this particular episode, which is fine because I wanted to add in a reference that I missed when recording this episode anyway.
All that hard work's paid off.
I feel disappointed though having to re-record this because I felt like I had all my ideas out fresh, just saying them as they come to mind. But now I felt like I was done, and now I just gotta do everything all over again. Of course, I could just upload it as is, but honestly, I feel like the background audio is way too loud. Because I don't know what happened. The podcaster somehow recorded the stereo mix of the audio of the computer. I don't understand. But it should be fine now, hopefully. Anyway. This is why I wish the first one had worked. Things to talk about. Of course, what am I going to do about this gaming channel? Honestly, I still want to record. I still want to make gaming content. I still want to be relevant. I still want to be able to continue to make gaming content because I like making gaming content. But the major problem. I mean, the problem is that it does cut into my animation work time, but the main problem is my deteriorating health. Because
everyone was pretty mad. I really am sorry.
Nobody's happy to have a
as much as I would like to
my mentor used to do that kind
continue
of
making gaming footage. I need to focus more on being healthy because just getting it up to a point where it's manageable isn't good enough.
Was that Gerald?
Because it doesn't get rid of the problem, it just allows me to...
Would and did. Mostly when he was drunk, though.
It allows me to continue to do work while I'm still under the same problem.
Not a good habit
I can't sit here and just...
From now on, only aim at bugs.
half-ass my health.
But,
I need to actually try to get better so I don't have to
like
keep
bugs?
being sick.
That should make you want to aim
And
at
there's a
them even
problem
more.
while I'm trying to do all
just
this
can't look at them. Seeing all the extra
gameplay,
legs and things
commentary,
makes my skin
and
crawl.
animations and stuff,
Then just
which
draw some spiders and hang them on the wall.
is disappointing
Aim at the
because
drawings whenever you pass
I
one.
would really want to
Overcome your
keep
fear of
focusing
bugs
on this
then,
stuff.
You want me to draw
So-
spiders? Ew, no. Would that even help?
I'm going to have to make some changes.
I should know.
I don't know what that is though, because I'm deciding
different
between
too?
either stop
Was.
uploading gaming content altogether or to
Okay, you've talked me into it.
um,
Give it a try.
And don't hang them where
stop focusing so much on editing.
Got it.
Even though I
Got it.
felt like I
Learned my
did
lesson.
stop
Promise.
focusing so much on
choosing to
editing, but
believe
apparently not. Because, well, it still takes me a long time to get the video out and ready to be uploaded. It's mostly because of the intro, because the way and how I wanted to set it up is because I wanted each intro to be like a music video. At the very least, when people tune into the video, they'll have something to look forward to when they turn on the video and just be like, hey, this is music video happening. But,
Sylvain, it's unusual to find you doing something other than
I think it takes too long to actually create.
Dorothea. I've been preparing
Even though I
for
have a
just
system
that
set
as
up to
a
where I
gift.
could do it
My
efficiently and
intention is
quickly,
to flirt
but at
with
the same time, it's
monastery's
just
most
like, huh,
beautiful flower, Dorothea
it's still
herself.
taking too long.
Oh dear. And I've ruined all your hard work. You might as well say
Well,
the effort
anyway, that's
and
that
not
idea.
deliberate.
I don't know. I mean, I'll either stop
Your wit
uploading
is as sharp
altogether,
as your
or
beauty.
I'll just
Don't you want just a little flirting? Just
create
sample?
a
I'm not like all the others, you know.
create an intro that works for all the
By
videos
not
instead
like
of
all
just
the others, do you mean how serious you are about
instead of
being
just
disingenuous when you flirt?
in
And
each
that is
individual
supposed to
game.
mean
It'll be
what
one for
exactly?
each.
Your social
or all
standing isn't
videos.
bad, and you're not bad to look at or
The music that I'll
particularly
probably use
dumb.
is
You could
the
easily be
Sonic
managed.
Chronicles theme, because I wanted to use that
Flit from
for a
one
while
to the next
since
without settling
it
on
came out.
anyone. I bet you
But,
enjoy going out with them, but you hate
Decided
women
not to, but
themselves.
now that I'm
Don't you
at
think?
this stage, I'm
Me?
I'm
Hate
thinking
women?
if I go ahead and decide
That
to
couldn't be
do
further
that,
from the
then
truth.
I'll just use that.
I'm always serious when it comes to matters of the heart.
And that's if I
When I
decide to
flirt,
keep
I stake
uploading
my life on
gameplay.
it.
Uh-huh.
Which I do want your
Oh, yeah,
opinion
yes.
down in the comment section
Staking
about
your
that.
life
Do
on a
you
person
still
is the
want to
sort of
see
thing
me
you should only
upload
do when you're in
gameplay?
love.
As far as
That's what I'm
animations are
saying.
concerned,
I love you enough
that's
to
where my
stake
true
life
focus
on it.
is.
And I'm seriously in love
And
with
as
each
far
and
as,
every girl I
like,
flirt with.
I see.
Being healthy,
Regardless
as far as
of
making
what's
animations,
in
being
my
healthy,
life.
and
So you'd better go
making
and
gaming
fall in love with
content, I
someone
feel like
else.
those are important in that
Goodbye,
order.
Sylvain.
The most important is to make animations. Second important is to be healthy.
I love it.
And third important is to create video game content to stay relevant. But it's becoming to a point where I don't know how important big video game content is. But I do want your opinions on that.
So full.
As far
Really
as
hit the spot.
animation is concerned, I
Nice
am
and snug.
creating my own
Selling.
original characters,
Hey,
and I guess I have to put that in
you look pretty
quotations,
happy.
because there
Celebrating
are
something?
What?
parodies and stuff
nothing at all.
involved. But
Hey,
basically, the
relax.
title of
It's
this
okay if you
animation
rather not
series
tell
that
me.
I'm planning on making is Useless
Either
Q,
way, I believe you left
and
something
he is
alive.
accompanied by his other characters
A
called the
half-written
letter
manuscript.
Waifu.
Your own work,
And
I
as the name
presume?
suggested, is
I
a
was curious
sexy
what it belonged
girl
to and gave it a
design
read
based
through.
on
You're a
each
really
letter
talented
of
writer.
the alphabet. Yeah, your expression should be like Bernadetta's right now. What's messed
I'm
up is
sorry.
that I
peeked at the first page, then the next.
I had a model that I was
Stop.
wanting to
I think
rig
it's
up
good enough to publish.
and
It's the
use
kind of adventure story that will make people
for the
laugh and
post commentary
cry. I love
of
how you
this
never know
video.
what mess the hero's going to get herself into next.
And it is a
I'm dying to
redesign
read
of
more.
Q2 so that it's a little more original. Yeah, same expression for Bernadette on that topic. But yeah, it just
Your mouth's hanging wide open.
okay, so I was
Are you okay?
trying to figure out how to
Sorry,
rig. Not how to rig, but how to rig fast.
Talking about a story.
Because I know how to rig, but I don't know
Yes,
how to
that would
rig
be me.
fast. It usually takes
read
me
your book.
days to come up with a to come up with a rig for a character.
Book?
And that's
Yeah.
just a simple
And
rig.
I loved it.
I mean, a complicated rig.
I'm so
Because I never really learned how to
Please forget everything you read.
rig.
Humiliated? No, I think the word
Quickly?
you're looking for is humbled. Because
Because I would always take my time doing stuff, and I still take my time doing stuff. But if I'm going to make all these characters, then I need to learn how to model, rig, texture. I need to do all this stuff quickly. Excuse me. So, for the past year, that's what I've been trying to work on is how to model fast, how to texture fast, how to rig fast.
Memory.
But rigging is the hardest part for me to come up with until I came up with the whole
Too.
skin morph modifier thing from 3ds Max, which I don't know if the the industry actually uses the skin morphs. I mean, I could be wrong. They probably use something a lot more advanced and official. But that's just the idea that I came up with. The problem is that this doesn't translate in Motion Builder. And Motion Builder is the thing that I use for the mocap. So, if I want to use that new model of Q2, I would have to re-rig it so that it would work with Motion Builder. So that's why there's no model
Hello, Ferdinand. You
for
seem
this
to be in a good
post-commentary.
What is that supposed to mean?
And I apologize for that because I really wanted it to work. It was the whole point of why I was rigging for this past week.
Have you now?
I felt
Well, I'm
that,
glad
hey,
to hear it.
what if I take the model and just try to rig it within this week? Which I did, but for 3ds Max, not for Motion Builder.
I do not come close to matching your talents. Yet a true noble does
So,
not give up
I have a working
when
model.
facing defeat.
That's a good sign.
I will continue my training.
Bad sign is that it doesn't work for
One day I
Motion
will
Builder.
be
So
an elite
maybe
warrior.
next
That is the path I must
part
take.
I'll have it
As
ready.
a noble,
And the reason I say that is because the audio messed up for this part and the next
You are
part.
in a good mood. Your determination.
Though
is
not as
palpable.
long as the next part. That's when the
yes,
microphone started
one
working
day I will
again.
surpass your abilities, and I will defeat you
And that microphone in question, the one that I was using for Fire Emblem Three Houses, that no longer works.
For a while now.
So I'm switching back to the Rod podcaster that I was using, or the Rode podcaster that I was using for the Dubspace Emissary, because apparently this microphone works way better than any other microphone that I've ever had in my life. This thing is over 10 years old and it still works.
Certainly, we must recognize the common folk.
Or at the
who
very
strive
least,
to
it
break
works
and attain it. But for those of us
to the
born
point where it
into
actually
nobility,
records the audio.
things are more complicated. From birth, noble
I don't know
must
why
excel.
in my
If we do
previous
not,
recording a
we will
few
be
minutes
forced
ago
out of our houses.
that it
This
picked up the
environment
background
breeds
audio
superior
for the
individuals,
video as well.
and
It
they
shouldn't
in
have done
turn
that.
create the rigorous environment for their own children.
But I
Without
tested
that
it.
cycle,
It should
there would
work
be no
much
political
better
elite
now.
guiding the world towards prosperity.
I mean, I could also
you're
always
saying that
just
the kind of
throw in
world
that
I
audio
strive
from the
to create
previous
is wrong.
recording, but
I would not
honestly,
go
I don't
so
want to
far as to
because
say
the
your
background
way
audio
is
is so
wrong.
loud.
Just that
In comparison to the
another way
commentary,
might be better.
the post-commentary
If you
that I
insist
just
upon undoing the nobility,
felt like I needed to just
then we
re-record
must build
everything. The
something
problem
in
is
place.
recollecting my
We
thoughts.
can provide free education for all, and then select the highest performing students for more intensive
So,
training and tutoring. I
Anyway,
truly believe that people are products of their environment.
Finding a way to educate the people. Interesting.
I talk about recollecting my thoughts, and here I go drawing a blank.
No matter what shape the world.
Yes, I could just edit
I'm
things
sure
out and
I'll
cut
always
the
meet
video
people like
down.
you by my
Part of the
side.
reason why I didn't want to is because I
People
kind of
with
wanted to try to
strong principles who will argue with me and force me to consider
to
ideas
react
that
to
are
my
contrary
own
to my own.
model.
Yes, exactly.
Even
Finally,
though, well,
Hildegard,
it's hard to
you
call it a
appreciate how
model, but
important I am to your cause.
I've always thought of you as a
react
guiding
to what
friend,
I'm
Ferdinand. That's nothing
doing
new.
on the
Hildegard,
battlefield.
I have to tell you something.
But
I think now is the right time.
honestly, I'd rather just
Do you
talk
know
about
my
what I plan to
ancestor
do for the
Derek von
future.
Eyre said after your ancestor defeated him?
Now, like I said, I had to redesign
You
Q2,
are
mostly
an
because,
imperial beauty.
copyright stuff.
Please accept me as your
Redesign Q2 so that it looks more
Ferdinand.
original, something that I
There's
can
a
market,
time and a
something that I
place for
can
everything.
sell
But that time is
without
over.
getting in trouble. And the name Q2 is unique enough. I just have to remarket it in such a way that it only that it reflects something else other than what it was originally supposed to reflect. Shh. Anyway. So that's where the idea of the whole the letter waifu came from. Because what's the unique part about the name Q2 is the letter Q. And what is the letter Q? Well, it is a letter from the English alphabet. So I figured, well, why don't I reinvent Q2 to be a character that is more based on the Q part of its name, which would be the letter of the alphabet. So it's called Useless Q. I guess, I didn't explain why I called it Useless Q the last time. Because it comes so normal to me calling it Useless Q that I forgot to explain why it's called Useless Q. So why is the series called Useless Q? Well, what is the letter Q in the English language? if not the most useless letter in the entire language. Or at the very least, that's what people associate the letter Q with. Being the most useless letter of the alphabet. Now there are some there are people that say C, Z, X, and stuff like that, but let's be real here. The most common letter that you will hear as being described as the most useless letter is the letter Q.
Challenge that will be overcome.
So why is it called useless Q? Well, as you guys know, if you don't know, you're about to know now that I am a I don't know what the official term is, but a clinical depressant, clinically depressed. As in, I suffer from depression, self-harm thoughts, and stuff like that. It is a reflection of feeling like I am useless. So it's a double entendre. Well, double meaning. Trying the letter itself and the character that calls himself Q. Which is the reason why the name of the series is called Useless Q, because the character Q2 feels that he is useless, as everyone suggests the letter Q itself is. Therefore, that's why it's called Useless Q. And the letter waifu are all sexy women designed based on each other letter of the alphabet, are of course the more important, more prominent, more desirable letters / characters of the not of the alphabet. I mean, yeah, of the alphabet, yeah, but I mean also of the characters that Q2 himself created. They are the selling points of Q2's career, not him. That's part of the plot. Also, I want to do this series on Q2 animations, not this one with just Q2 videos. Q2 videos, I kind of want to make it for gameplay stuff, but as for animations, I want that to be on Q2 Animations, because Q2 Animations is actually affiliated with Frederator, which is a respectable animation company, at the very least respectable in terms of they're very successful. So that's why I want to put Useless Q on Q2 Animations. So if you're not subscribed to Q2 Animations, I suggest you subscribe to Q2 Animations, because chances are I'll start uploading stuff over there. And now that I actually have models to use, or at the very least practice with, is likely that I will start uploading stuff there in the near future. Though the first animation that I want to upload up there, the first official animation, is an animation called Holy What, but it's just an animated short to test out trying to do stuff in an anime style with 3D graphics, which you guys have already seen examples of in the thumbnails of my Fire Emblem 3 Houses playthrough. Just go look at the thumbnails and you guys can see what I've been doing. That's how I plan to make the animations, the tune shade and all that. But those animations will be on Q2 Animations, not this particular channel. And I would like to the whole reason why I've been offline for the past 2020, the year 2020, is to design all these characters for Useless Q. I was hoping to actually have them all modeled and rigged up by then, but well, that didn't go as planned. I only have 2 models, and it's just the redesign of Q2 and another character called Monitor Girl. By the very least, Monitor Girl serves a purpose for my animations, because of the way I have her designed. I can actually have her stand in or fill in for certain animations, stuff like that. But Useless Q is the animations I started working on, and of course with the letter waifu. So why letter waifu? Well, number one is because well, I didn't mention this before, but I think I mentioned it in a previous video, but it's really just a retelling or a rehashing of a fan fiction idea that I had called Waifu Sphere, where Q2 went around and kidnapped all of his so-called waifu characters from various pre-existing fictional stories and married all of them and put them in a Dyson sphere. Which I did start a fan fiction of on my DeviantArt channel, if you guys want to check it out. But I wanted to actually, I thought that was such a good idea that I actually wanted to just actually make it for real. Obviously, copyrighted characters I shouldn't be using. So I need to create more characters. At the same time, I needed to reinvent Q2 because of the whole copyright situation anyway. As you guys know, from what the original Q2 was based on, you know that company in particular has no problem going after fans of their own works, regardless of the situation. Part of the reason why I haven't really done Puzzle War, but it's mostly because of music for Puzzle War, not necessarily because of them. But they are a deciding factor as well. That's the reason why I stopped worrying about Puzzle War. Though I still want to do Who Killed Mario, but Who Killed Mario is more of a I dare you to the company. But anyway. Useless Q, the letter waifu, is a retelling of a story of Q2 being married to several characters at once, while at the same time fulfilling such well, I've always wanted to design groups of characters based on certain criteria. What I mean to say is that back in the 90s, I once saw somebody, he had designed a girl. It's the same girl each time. I think it was the same girl each time. I think it was Misty, but I could be wrong. Redesigned Misty based on each Pokemon. So he had pretty much 150 redesigns of Misty wearing some kind of clothes or had it designed in such a way that it reflected the Pokemon of that number or whatever. I think my favorite was her Star Me or her Star You, but either way. I thought that was such a cool idea, and I wanted to do something like that. I know when I went to college, somebody did the same thing except with the periodic table. The elements of the periodic table. And I'm just like, dude, I want to do something like that. I know one time I thought about doing it with the Animaniacs, but even that idea was taken. So when I came up with the idea of trying to redesign Q2, reinvent Q2, that was the most important thing, what's the most defining thing about Q2, and it is the Q in the name Q2. So what is Q? It's the letter Q from the English alphabet. So why don't I base his character around the English alphabet? And therefore, that's what facilitated the idea of the letter waifu, because the name Q2 derives from the letter Q, and it is something that I can. It is something that I can design around. So that's that. Also, when I first came up with the idea of letter waifu, I wanted to use Japanese, but I don't know Japanese. So let's use a language that I actually do know, and it was English, obviously. But excuse me. Okay, so situation that happened last time is about to happen again, where my legs get stiff and painful. But I have the new arm for the Rode Podcaster microphone, so I should be able to sit back in the new chair. This is a brand new chair too, because my old one finally just crapped out on me. So I should be able to do this. And just sit and chill. I believe this is the only thing that worked out better than last time. By last time, I mean a few minutes ago when I tried the previous recording. So yeah, useless Q, the way and how I have it set up is it's more based around the characters themselves rather than the actual plot. Because any plot could happen in useless Q, but it's really more of a basis of creating these characters, and then whenever I do come up with the idea of a plot, take said characters and put them in the plot. At the very least, this is an outlet for me to create my fanboy tendencies without having to use copyrighted characters. And I think that is a very safe way of me being a fanboy without actually using copyrighted characters. So yes, the characters that I create will be used in place of the copyrighted characters. And at the same time, I feel like that should be the selling point of Useless Q itself, or at the very least the letter waifu, because since there'll be 3D models, that means that I can upload them to the internet and have other fans, use them for their fan projects and not have to worry about being copyrighted or copyright strike, DMCA notice, and all that stuff, which I think would be really cool. In fact, the whole copyright issue is the whole basis behind the series Useless Q anyway, so it would make sense for me to do that. So what are the letter waifu? I mean, like I said, the letter waifu are based, well, I didn't say that, but the letter waifu are based on certain characters, but primarily they are based on the letters of the alphabet. Originally, I had them based on the shapes of each alphabet. What I mean by that is that I looked at the shape of the letter and tried to depict how would a human being make this shape, and based on that, I designed the character. And whereas that's still a more defining feature behind each character, afterwards I finally decided to check the origin of each letter, and found out that each letter actually does have its own origin. So I decided to incorporate that in part of the design as well. Such as the letter A is based off of the head of the ox, just upside down. The letter B is based on the home, the house. The letter C is based on a throwing stick. The letter D based on the door, etc., etc. Anyway. I'm sorry if the microphone sounds too far away, but I just wanted to just sit up back here in a more relaxed position. I don't really want to have to. Well, I don't have to, but it's hard for me to figure out what to talk about. So I pulled up my list of ideas for Letter Waifu, but basically, Useless Q is a story of me trying to start a career while at the same time avoiding copyright, and avoiding copyright in a more literal sense, as in, imagine an army of soldiers that have the symbol copyright posted, put on their suits. I mean, stuff like that. And of course, the world that they live in is the internet. So, imagine some kind of Wreck-It Ralph looking thing. Anyway, hold on. At the same time, Useless Q will also have subplots, and one of the subplots is the Letter Waifu world, in which the Letter Waifu have their own stories that Kyutwo himself will make into animations and upload to his channel, so that hopefully he can make a career out of it. Of course, that is only if people will watch and like his content. Which we all know how unlikely that's about to happen, because people are very, what's the better word? People are more likely to go for trends. That's what I mean to say. Trends. If it's not something that's already a trend, people are not likely to take an interest to it. That's what I mean. And Q2 is not necessarily a trend. But at the same time, it's like there's no real plot, so I can pretty much do whatever animation that I want for Useless Q, and that's the best point there. Oh right, like marketing things. Like I said before, like
feels like me.
Originally, Q2, the idea was that Q2 was going to market his waifu for use for other content creators. You can do that as part of the animation plot itself, and I could actually do that for real. I can actually like create the 3D models of each character and have them available for download, so that other content creators in real life can take those characters and use them for their fan works, so that they don't get struck down by copyright BS, which is the whole point of Letter Waifu in the first place. So there's that. Number two, as I said about content creators can actually show up in Useless Q, since the primary setting is the internet. So Q2 can run into other content creators. He can actually run into the voice actors and voice actresses of his own characters and stuff like that. Three, and this is something that's a little bit more important. Q2 can find assets to use for his animations and implement them to his animations, while at the same time advertising the asset itself. What I mean by asset is like something like a 3D background or something. So Q2 could use that as a marketing ploy for his animations, because assets, 3D assets are something that people don't utilize, and I think it's something that is frowned upon in the animation industry, though it really shouldn't be, because getting the assets that you need will help finish your animations a lot quicker. Now, of course, you'd have to have the exact right asset, but there could be some workaround. I mean, just because you get an asset doesn't mean that you won't be able to change it and make it a little bit more to what you're wanting for your animation. This is something that Q2 could do. And I don't see anybody else doing that. Is taking assets from stuff while at the same time advertising where Q2 got it from within the same animation. That's what I mean. Not video descriptions, I mean the animation itself. So for his music, and I feel like I'm gonna have to like learn how to compose my own music, because music is gonna get hella expensive. I guess I should take the time to talk about Spirit Stars as well. As for Spirit Stars, I mean, the whole point of Spirit Stars is to have them dance to copyrighted music. So I would need money in order to continue to create Spirit Stars, because I would need to buy the rights to certain songs so that the Spirit Stars could dance to those songs without having to worry about being copyright stricken and all that stuff. Of course, I'd have to figure out a different way to make money, and that's where Useless Q comes in. It doesn't mean that I can't make Spirit Stars content, but I'd have to be very careful about what music I choose for Spirit Stars. I still have those models of the Spirit Stars, so I can rig those up and animate them, but I have to be very careful about doing that, at least the way that I want to. And that's for the other story of Who Killed Mario, which is a fan project, let's just be real. And I still want to do that one, but that's going to be very hard to do, especially because I want to do it in 2D, not 3D. And I have to get all the script and stuff written. I have to get the script written first. That's one thing about that I have to do. Mostly because it is a murder mystery. That's why it's called Who Killed Mario. But I have to have the whole thing written out first, because I want it to be an actual murder mystery where the viewers are trying to figure out the murder mystery, and they discuss it among themselves in the comments section. Though I had to make sure that everything fits, all the clues and stuff. So there's that. Those are the 3 things that I am planning on working on. I have to thank Detective Pikachu for giving me the idea for Who Killed Mario. You guys should go look at my Detective Pikachu gameplay. That's where I got the idea from. So yeah. I feel like I said everything that I wanted to say. But, hold on, how much recording time do I have? I've been recording for 39 minutes. I still have roughly 40 or 50 minutes to go. This is the part that I was worried about. So I was saying that the reason why I was okay with losing the audio for this video was because of something that happens in this video that I had an opportunity to reference something that I just did not think about, and I was like, why didn't I think to reference that? Because it would have been perfect, but at the same time I lost the audio. So it gives me an opportunity to actually plug in the reference. I guess I'm sorry. I'm just a little disappointed that this is the second recording instead of the first one. The first one I felt like it was more meaningful because it was me trying to remember everything the first time around, kind of like a blind post commentary. But anyway,
Ready for anything.
so here's the first turn. This is where I'm starting to pop up. Now that should have been Impregnable. No, that was Rally. Because I wanted to get her dexterity up because lethality is based on dexterity. So I danced for Ferdinand and then had to come back and use Impregnable on Petra. Okay. So anyway, my theory here is does Impregnable stop lethality? Which I didn't know. If I was betting in this on this map, I would have said Impregnable stops lethality, and I just have to take a look at sexy Dorothea just running. I have to, because it's Dorothea. Not necessarily a Naruto run, but definitely a ninja run. So anyway, Impregnable, the way and how it works is that it reduces all damage down to just 1 HP, including critical hits. And since it does critical hits the same way, it makes me feel that Impregnable has priority over all damage. So what that tells me is that if lethality were to pop off at the same time as Impregnable will win over lethality. So I feel like I was at a good enough point where I could test this out without much consequence. So that's what I'm doing here. I might have explained this on the previous episode. I can't really remember if I did or not. But that's what I'm trying to do here. Is I just want to see if lethality gets shut out by Impregnable. Because the way lethality works is that at some point in a random value out of a complex formula, lethality will allow the opponent will allow the unit to instantly kill somebody. So when lethality pops off, if I touch somebody with lethality while lethality is on, I mean, that person instantly dies. It's a mechanic that's always been in Fire Emblem ever since, well, I don't know ever since, but I know that it was in Fire Emblem and Blazing Sword. I know that it was in Blazing Sword. So, this is me trying to find a good spot because I want to try to attract as many enemies as possible to get the biggest chance. Now, this is a kind of a theory that I've done before in Fire Emblem, because in Blazing Sword there was a 2-player mode, but that 2-player mode was just 2 players going head to head with playable characters. So since I didn't have any friends, and I still don't, I just played that part by myself. I just took an assassin class and a general class. Assassin class with the killing edge, and the general, huge defense with whatever lance. It's probably a silver lance, just to have the powerful lance. Anyway, I would just let the turns pass by to see who would get the first hit or the first kill. the assassin doesn't have enough power to do any damage to the general. So the only way the assassin can win is through lethality. The general has a silver lance, but since the assassin has high speed, he is very unlikely to hit the assassin. He's probably got to make a 12% chance to hit the assassin. So all these turns will keep going by until one of them wins. I think more often than not, the assassin won. But of course, this is also dependent on the weapon that the general is holding. Because, you know, different spears will have different accuracies.
You are in my way.
So here's Petra showing that the Impregnable affects the damage of a critical hit. Because otherwise, that would have been 3 instead of just 1. But since it's just 1, it tells me that Impregnable even affects the critical hits as well. So with that in mind, I move over. I keep Petra there to allow her to absorb all those attacks and to see if lethality will pop off on one of them. Can't remember what I did there. I know I put Retribution on Petra also just in case. Looking at the model, my Kyutwo model over here. Actually, I swear I hear the air conditioner from the video that I'm watching, but I don't know how it's picking up the air conditioner and not my voice. The air conditioner right now is off in my room presently, but I definitely hear that rumbling noise of the air conditioner. Now I'm questioning, how did I lose the audio? Because if I'm hearing the air conditioner, I mean, that's not the air conditioner. But I swear that's the air conditioner. Oh well. It's a lost cause or whatever. Over a year ago. What should I do for the gaming content on this channel? You know, post your opinions about what I should do, but I feel like that I should just stop editing so much. Just use a intro for all of my gaming content rather than have some kind of specialized content for each episode, because that would quicken things up. I also wanted to mention this. I mean, one thing that I thought about doing was creating a Fire Emblem 3 Houses Black Eagles team in Pokemon Sword, which I did, and it worked out fairly well. I just wanted to upload it. But I don't know. I just kind of, after a while, I just kind of lost interest in it. Though I still have recordings of the team. Those are just test recordings, but at the very least they show what the Black Eagles team was capable of in Pokemon Sword. Okay, at some point I'm going to end this phase, and it'll be the enemy phase, and then you'll see what I was talking about with Impregnable versus Lethality. So why am I zoomed in like this all the time? It's because one of the disappointing things about Fire Emblem games is that it looks like it's just a small number of people calling themselves an army going in and playing these maps. But with 3 houses, with the addition of battalions, it actually does look like a full-fledged army. Look at all these people out here. That looks like an army out there. Rather than just like a band of 11 people trying to call themselves an army.
I'll cut a bloody path.
So that aspect of Fire Emblem 3 Houses is number one. Is what made me play the game in the first place. It's because of these battalions looking like an actual army. And geez, this frozen lance just destroys people. My biggest regret about Hubert is not getting his budding talent up earlier, because that would have saved me a lot of trouble. Okay, here's the end of the turn. And now we go to enemy phase. So you guys can see the Impregnable is working. But I believe it happens here. On this next battle. See, the lethality popped off right there. Boom, and he's dead. And I'm like, wait, that actually hit. The lethality actually hit through the Impregnable. And I was so shocked by that. But I missed an opportunity to say one of my favorite lines from the old Spider-Man cartoon, which was, "Nothing is impregnable to the Kingpin."
Nothing is impregnable to the Kingpin. You must be joking.
And then the Kingpin sidekick just goes, "You must be joking."
To survive, I will win.
But it's such a memeable thing, and I'm surprised that it's not a meme. Nothing is impregnable to the Kingpin. The plot was supposed to be like they were supposed to like try to get something out of S.H.I.E.L.D.
You are in my way.
But his assistant was telling him that S.H.I.E.L.D. It's like a fortress that is virtually impregnable, and the Kingpin just goes, "Nothing is impregnable to the Kingpin." And his assistant, "You must be joking." It's because of the word impregnable. And the Kingpin is a big ass dude, that's why. Like, you want to talk about impregnable? I'm surprised that's not a meme. Maybe we can make it a meme. Hashtag impregnable. But that was the disappointing thing from the original recording that I failed to remember or recognize, but it didn't matter because the recording failed itself anyway. So, finally managed to get that out. So, I don't think there's anything much else to talk about, but I'll try to figure something out here. As far as useless Q, like I want to talk about useless Q because it's a thing that I've been working on the most in 2020, and I want it to be successful. Well, I guess that's something that I could talk about because I don't plan on doing that episode anymore. But one episode of Useless Q was an episode where somebody had asked Q2 if they could use his characters, the Litter Waifu, for some content that they wanted to create. So Q2 sent his waifu to go to that person's channel, but when they got there, the place was like deserted. But the waifu themselves walk around, try to figure out like, hey, where's the client? But as it turns out, the channel itself got overtaken by what I would call a FNAF virus. So the Letter Waifu are walking through the channel and there's all these FNAF references scaring them. And let's see, which waifu was it? It was because it was spelling Freddy's. So it would be waifu F, waifu R, waifu E, waifu D, waifu Y, and waifu S. Now I don't plan on doing this episode anymore, so it's okay. So pretty much like a horror film, they're getting quote unquote killed off one by one, and they have to try to figure out the mystery of why the content creators of that channel have gone missing within their own channel. So that was one of the first episodes I came up with, but I feel like, not to say that it's not a bad plot, but I feel like it's just redundant in comparison to other ideas that I came up with afterwards. So there's that, the new alphabet song, yeah. Because there is a new alphabet song, and I feel like the waifu would be, pissed about it. The clickbaiter. Right now I'm just going down the list of ideas that I've written down. This isn't even the most updated list. I just don't have access to it because it's on a hard drive that is not connected to the computer right now, and everything, all my other USB ports are already being used. I do remember the clickbaiter, but I don't have a plot written down for the clickbaiter, but I know which plot it is. And if I said, should I still do that plot? I feel like I should. The clickbaiter. But it's not as threatening as you guys are probably. It's not meant to be a threat.
It's win or die.
So this is, I don't remember. Oh, no, never mind. I do remember. Okay. I simply called it that. Okay.
I sense an improvement. Oh, right. Okay. After the events. Okay. That was a series. I mean, that was an episode that I titled F-Bomb. And for a second there, I thought it wasn't the right episode, but after reading it, it's like, okay, it is that episode. Or it is that idea. Okay, so there's that. Some of these are just titles and not an actual description. Oh, this one. Okay, I'll actually read this one out. It's called Blundertail or Thundertail. The description reads, G decides to stream Thundertail,
How about a curtsy?
but Q warns not to do so. The moment she starts to stream, Q2's entire channel is literally bombed. Soft G wakes up in an alternate world. Oh, right. Soft G and Hard G.
I mean, if you guys haven't figured it out, it's an obvious parody of Undertale, and the letter G, they're creating the G waifu or waifu G. Waifu G is the name. Soft G and hard G are alternate personalities of letter G. And because Undertale has two different routes that are opposites of each other, it's a perfect way of showing off soft G and hard G. Although neither one of them are evil per se. Let's just say one of them is more outgoing than the other. Yeah, it's hard. Soft G wakes up in an alternate world with a fan base, where a fan base wishes to saturate the world with the beliefs derived from their game, whereas hard G wakes up in a hate base that wishes to rid the world of the fan base and their game. So at the same time, this is also a critique of the fan base of Undertale itself. This is the kind of episodes that I come up with for Useless Q. If you guys don't know, the fan base of Undertale can be very, to lack of a better word, dangerous. And when I mean dangerous, I mean somebody actually tried to kill somebody because they were drawing fan art of something that they disapproved of. And it was a literal murder attempt. I'm not joking. They actually tried to kill somebody. So I feel like these topics should be talked about. That's why I'm not. I've always been a controversial person. I feel like that we should talk about these topics that more or less could get us killed if we just let them be. But of course, people don't want to talk about them because they feel like that they're too sensitive of topics. And yet, the less we talk about them, the more we let these problems fester in our society, and people will wind up dead. Which is why I would like to discuss these topics, at the very least, keep them relevant. But anyway, that's that. Let's see. Oh, who is I? I forgot about that plot. That's the one I don't want to reveal just yet. And I did say it right. The title is Who is I? That is how the title is supposed to be written. S curse form X crisis? Oh, X crisis, okay. Not X crisis, but X's crisis. As in X is possessive with the apostrophe. Oh, I remember two congruent sides. Okay, I remember no soul. There's that one. Okay, I know which one that is. Okay, so I know which one that is. That one's called Party Pooper. It's a short, but it makes fun of... It's hard to really say it makes fun of it because the YouTuber in question makes fun of it herself, but it's supposed to be reflective of Cat for the Win, as how she tries to imitate Lotta Heart from Phoenix Wright, as she tries to say Party Poppers, but she wasn't good with a southern accent, but the way she says Party Poppers was just hilarious. So this is kind of a throwback to that. It also reminds me, one of the things I was thinking about doing was playing Beauty and the Beast,
I must lead them
the
well.
video game made by Disney Interactive back,
No
I
time
believe,
for
the 90s. And that's because I was watching another content creator called Nat Nikki. And she does mostly Nintendo and Disney content. But she's also an artist. So she takes commissions. So if you want your artwork commissioned by her, then go ask her. I discovered her way long time ago because she was playing Super Mario RPG. So that's when I first discovered her. But she just recently started playing Jungle Book. And as somebody who played and beat Jungle Book as a kid, I can tell you that's not... It's not the friendliest game. But it's better than Lion King, the game. I beat Lion King as a kid too, but god dang. Lion King gave me PTSD. But, so she's playing Jungle Book, and I gave her advice and everything like that, but it's been like a week since she's uploaded anything Jungle Book related, and I'm actually kind of concerned about that. But, she's an artist, I'm an animator. I know the deal about time management when you have other stuff going on. Besides, I'm like real sick, or as I've always been. But anyway, she's also started playing Fire Emblem Three Houses. I did have some advice for her in one of her videos, but I don't think she read it. I feel like that if she read it, that she would pay more attention to certain statistics so that her units don't keep dying. But, you know, if she doesn't want to read it, then she doesn't want to read it. I mean, it is not my thing to try to force somebody to do something they don't want to do. I mean, if I give somebody advice or tell somebody something and then they don't listen to me the first time, I'm not gonna repeat myself and tell them a second time. I would rather just watch them do whatever without my advice. But that's pretty much how I've learned how to deal with people. I'm like, okay, I just told you, you don't want to do it, fine. Anyway, the next one is, I think I remember which one that is. What's Kyutwo Switch? I have an idea. I have one idea written down. The title of it is called Kyutwo Switch. Kyutwo has swapped genders to test a theory if a male character that is considered a strong male character has gender swap. Suppose the assassin story to a women consider the female variant a strong female character and vice versa. And that's all that's written down. It definitely sounds like an idea that I would come up with, but there's no real emphasis of the plot. That's the problem. I don't remember this one. Oh, that's probably why I don't remember that, because it's short. PvE. Yeah, I do remember PvE, but I'm gonna have to change that up. And that's PvE is actually based off of an idea that I want to do, which basically it's Princess Peach versus the Predator. And honestly, I would say Princess Peach would win because she is ridiculously strong. If you know the powers of Princess Peach, then you would know that this is unquestionable. The girl is literally one of the most powerful characters in the Mario universe. Literally. I don't remember this one. My Life as a Game. Kyutwo attempts to start a trend on the creation. Okay, this is old because the Creative Nation. is the original title for the social media that Q2 has registered for. The new name is CreatorNet, but the original name is Create a Nation. Anyway, called My Life is a Video Game, where he explains how his life would work as a video game if it were converted into one. He explains each detail of why his game would be the way it is down to the genre, game mechanics, and enemies. That's a random ass thought. Anyway, skip those. Oh, okay, I remember that one. Oh yeah, that's another one. Though I want to change that though. Oh, okay. Remember that one. Okay, P versus Rec, that's the same thing as P versus E. It's just a rewriting of it. Alright. Okay, that's a episode right there. Okay, I do remember this episode. Or at the very least, it's going to be one of the first parts of the letter waifu plot. Not the useless Q plot, but the letter waifu plot. Matter of fact, I should probably emphasize which plot these ideas are going to be, because there's a useless Q plot, then a letter waifu plot, then there's a quote unquote random plot. And I could probably come up with some other plots as well, but those are the main plots, I believe. Let's see. Oh, I remember this one, okay. And speaking of random, there's part 1 of Random. Part of Multiverse Tournament. Let's see. Oh, wait. No. Right, okay. I remember. So that's part of the letter waifu plot. Part of the Multiverse Tournament, which is more or less a parody of the Tournament of Power from Dragon Ball Super. But
long way to go.
I find myself wanting to do this parody less and less, thanks to other stories that I came up with. But I still kind of want to do it. I'm trying to remember this one. Oh, wait. Okay, I remember this one, okay. This letter waifu plot. This is the letter F being a lawyer for the letter O. That's literally what it is. It's the letter F being the lawyer for letter O. Okay. Apparently this is one for the random plot. I don't remember this one. This one's called Word Deletion. In the world of random, and random is a acronym or an abbreviation. Controversial words are being deleted from the English language. Anyone caught speaking or revealing the taboo word will be arrested and charged with high treason. I feel like this is a reflection of Shimoneta, the anime. I feel like this was a parody of that. New technology is installed everywhere to detect the vibrations in the air for anyone. Yeah, I feel like this is a parody of that. In the air for anything that may sound like the taboo word. Q2, the college instructor, is appalled by these new developments. And that's it for the description. I believe that's me parodying Shimoneta. I don't remember that one. I remember it, but I don't remember why I came up with it. Thundercast. Anyway, here's something called Frozen. Kyutwo and other channels suffer from a series of computers and video games getting frozen while parodying Frozen itself. I don't remember that. That's the entire description. I don't remember what I was thinking there. Okay, that's one I don't want to read because it references something that I could get in trouble with. If I mention it, is what I mean. Okay, what about this one? Okay, I remember that one. And there's another one of the letters. That's just the same episode. That's probably going to be the second episode. Word of letters. Oh, what is this? Oh, I forgot about this one. Okay, I think I'll read this one out loud. This is a controversial one. It's called Karen Call. A-san, and A-san is she is my police character. A-san is a police woman. A-san, A-san like the Japanese honorific son. But basically, Mrs. A. Well, if this is the litter waifu world, then this would be Miss A. In the useless Q world, she would be Mrs. A because she would be married to Q, which is me. But anyway, A-san confronts the woman. Oh, sorry. A-san overhears A. Karen stereotyping aliens based on horror films and other pop culture media. A-san confronts the woman, explaining that common media portrays the grotesque misconception of alien life and that most aliens are not as aggressive as shown in the media. Lei tries to call the police to have A-san arrested for denying her opinion. The operator says that she will dispatch the closest officer to her location. A-san's communicator goes off with the operator reporting a free thinker in her vicinity. The Karen looks surprised while Officer A-san just glares at her. And that's it. Because, like I said, A-san is an officer of the law. So, she's the one who gets called to handle the situation with this Karen. So, what's that? Okay, yeah, those. Sunshine and Rainbows. Yeah, I remember that. Sunshine and Rainbows is probably the best accidental character that I came up with before Useless Q. I mean, I just came up with them by accident. In the thick of it, I don't remember. Okay, this one actually says in the litter waifu world. Oh, okay, never mind. This is okay. I remember this one because now that it says in Q2's past, I remember this one. It's this litter waifu world. Oh, okay, I remember this one. This is another controversial one. Don't know this one. Oh, no, never mind. I do remember this one. And letter waifu one. Okay, okay. Another controversial one. What's this one? Alright. Probably don't want to mention that one on the internet right now. Okay, animation contest is one that I definitely remember. But that's going to be hard to do. That's going to take a very long time. I don't remember this. Even though it says clearly right there, based on watching Food Wars. I don't really remember this one all that well. I should try reading it. Q2, clad in armor, considered using wreck armor. Okay. Finding sexy women in tournament viewed by a huge crowd. Several of Q2's waifu observed from the stands after a difficult time trying to slightly hit her. The woman offers her body to him. What?
This could turn the tides. Not my best.
Okay, this is darker than I imagined. I mean, I think I mean, this is definitely more of a controversial one. As this is definitely more a controversial one.
No use.
I mean, it looked. I mean, when I was reading it, when I said based off of Food Wars, I thought it might have been more parody, but no, this is definitely controversial. This is something. This is a topic for something. Okay, I do remember that one. That one's called Yay. Okay, finally ended that video over there. I meant to comment on that, but I kind of got a little into this. Another F and Q. Okay. Okay, Webster. That's something that I want to do. There's a reason why it sounds like Wesker. Okay. Oh crap, that one. Yeah, I remember that one. Okay, so I think I'm pretty much done now. But I think you guys have an idea of what I want to do for Useless Q. Okay, so let me... There we go. So, there's not really much left after this. I mean, I just checked the... All I really do left is that I check the other maps, but I don't really go into it, so... I might as well just go ahead and end this episode right here. So, let me see if I remember this right. Thank you guys for watching my video. If you guys enjoyed it, please leave a like, share with your friends, comment down below, and subscribe if you want to see more. I hope you guys actually do like Useless Q. And let me remind you that Useless Q is going to be on Q2 Animations, not this channel. So go subscribe to Q2 Animations. It's the channel that is actually partnered up with Frederator. So, if I could just come up, let's see. The first, I'm only going to be using 1 or 2 waifu in the very beginning because I want to gradually get into the whole get into the entire alphabet. And also, just because I'm using the English alphabet doesn't mean that they're going to be the only waifu for Q2. Because letter waifu doesn't necessarily mean just the English language. Or just the English language as we know it now. Hint, hint. So, anyway. Thank you guys for watching this video. I will see you guys in the next video. But until then, thank you guys for watching. And I will see you guys in the next video. But until then, take care of yourselves. And have a very good night. Hopefully,
this recording actually worked. Peace!